Fans of the Giants are very happy. Why? Because the Giants, they got their first win of the season, knocking off the Browns in Cleveland, 21-15. So let's talk about the G-Men and their big win. We're going to do it with the host for ESPN Radio New York, my guy, Ty Butler. Ty, what's going on? How you doing, man?
Doing well, man. That was a big win for the Giants today. I'm excited to join you to talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it because it was a big win. The fans are very happy right now, as I mentioned. And Ty, you know this. Anytime a football team starts 0-2, they are desperate to win and keep their season alive. The Giants, however, they almost blew a 21-7 lead today, but they did hang on to win. Did you see the hunger to win from Big Blue today, and how big was this win for this team?
Yeah, I saw it because immediately when they start the game and within the first 11 seconds, they're trailing by a touchdown. Despite getting the ball first, you're thinking, this is going to be a long day for the Giants who have struggled to start the season. But I got to give credit, man, to Brian Dable because this team could have hung its head. They're 0-2 on the road, got Dallas coming on a short week, so you could kind of see the picture forming of a disastrous season. But they decided they were not going to give up. They were going to hang in there, and they hung 21 straight points on that vaunted Browns defense. So give credit to Dable where it's due. Had that team locked in despite the misfiring in the beginning of it. And they got an impressive win on the road. I know Cleveland's not a juggernaut, but if you're the Giants, man, any win you get, you take it, especially for a head coach that, let's be honest, to some degree is on the hot seat. So I give them a lot of credit, a lot of respect for showing that resolve, and not once but twice having the Browns, in their territory with a chance to either tie or take the lead and stopping them. So the Giants deserve massive respect for this victory today.
All right, giving the Giants some respect, as I said, to get their first win of the season. I want to talk to you about the offense because Daniel Jones and Malik Nabers, they really showed out in the first half as they hooked up for 2 touchdowns. Now, the G-Men, they had a strong first half offensively, but they struggled in the second half. So what did you make of this Giants offense in week 3?
It was a tale of two tapes. That first half, they were firing, man. They were clicking. And they did get saved because Jones threw a pick, was trying to get it to Theo Johnson. And the referees ruled that there was a roughing the passer, a little bit of a soft roughing the passer call, but the Giants were able to take advantage. And he only missed 2 passes in that first half, and Nabers was all over the field. This idea that, you got to find other guys to get involved because it's too much Malik Nabers. There's no such thing as throwing the ball to Malik Nabers too much. Whenever he's got any space or he's open, get him the football because anytime he's on the field, you are a danger to score a touchdown. That's how good this kid has been in the first 3 weeks of the season. It's reminded me a lot of what Odell Beckham Jr. was, an offense to himself. So I was very impressed with what I saw in that first half from the Giants. Second half, a bit of a different story. That has to be a concern. How do you hang a donut in that second half with all the offensive firepower that you had working in the first half? Now, they should have scored the touchdown. Singletary kneeled down at the 1 yard line, so technically they would have had a touchdown, but it should not have been close late. The Giants did find something that was working, and I expect them to try to implement this going forward. So Malik Nabers, man, he's got to get that game ball for the offense today.
Oh, yeah, Malik Nabers did his thing. As I said, 2 touchdowns for him. And, yes, you're right. There's some talk from some people about Nabers getting the ball too much. But, well, look at it. I'm with you, Ty. Doesn't look like a problem at all for the Giants. Now, considering in this game, we talked about how the Giants almost gave it up. They bent, but they didn't break. So the bright spot here might actually be the defense. Did Big Blue's D impress you against Cleveland?
Well, absolutely, because when you go back to this past offseason, we knew the offense was going to be a bit of a struggle. Like we didn't know what to expect. Daniel Jones coming off of, neck injuries, torn ACL in the final year of this contract, so to speak, given the Giants can get out of it. So we didn't know how much to expect, revamped offensive line. The one thing we were going to hang our hat on, man, was this defense, that defensive line that added Brian Burns. And so far through the first 2 weeks of the season, not much of an impact. But that was not the case today. 8 sacks in this game. Deshaun Watson held to under 200 yards in the entirety of this game, and he had a QBR of like 27. I know he hasn't been great, but to make any NFL quarterback look as pedestrian, as awful as Deshaun looked today, running for his life, stops on fourth down, the Giants' defensive line showed up today in a way that they had not done so to this point all season long. So they deserve a lot of credit. Shane Bowen trying to implement his strategy and his prowess on that side of the ball, and they were very impactful today. That's the side of the ball that won them this game against Cleveland.
Yeah, no doubt about that. 8 sacks, huge in this one. Okay, Ty, while this, as you said, was a big win for the G-men, the road isn't going to get any easier going forward. Short week, Thursday night football matchup at home against the Cowboys. Do you believe the Giants can continue to play competitive football, or do you need to see more out of this team before you're jumping on the bandwagon, of saying the Giants are back or competitive? Do you need a little more time with that?
Yeah, I actually don't need more time because I'm going to go in a different direction and say, no, this is not the Giants being back. This is a great win. You don't apologize for it. You don't take it with a grain of salt. It's important because your head coach had lost 13 of his last 19 games. So if he's 0-3, staring at 0-4 with the Dallas Cowboys coming in here on a short week, then that seat becomes scorching hot, and now we're having to have a legitimate conversation about whether or not the Giants have the right head coach on the sidelines. But what I saw today did not give me indication that this team is primed for takeoff. I still think that they have a lot of issues, and we saw it in that second half. Yes, they were able to beat the Browns, but I think bad news for the Giants is that the Cowboys could be rolling into this game on a 2-game losing streak, and I just don't see these boys losing 3 straight. So Dallas has had their number. The Giants actually haven't beaten Dak since his rookie season all the way back in 2016. This has been a mismatch in recent history. I just think that despite what we saw from the Giants today and all the positives, it's not going to translate into, you know, favorable results at home, primetime Thursday night against the Dallas Cowboys. So I think we'll come in here with a chip on their shoulder, having dominated this recent stretch between these two teams in this division.
We will see how it all plays out. As I said, next matchup for the Giants is Thursday night against the Cowboys. We'll see if they're able to build on this momentum. Ty not jumping on any bandwagon saying that the G-men are taking off right now. That is Ty Butler. Check him out on ESPN Radio New York. Does a great job hosting on there. Ty, always a pleasure to talk about anything in New York sports with you. Appreciate you having you on here, my brother. Thank you.
Excellent, man. Anytime, man. You know I'm always going to be here ready to roll with you, brother.
All right. Thank you.